Welcome to Ballet Bites, your shot of daily ballet brilliance, where numbers and nuance collide. We're kicking off with a global spotlight on ballet's journey. 140 countries, tons of art, and yes, even a few challenges in leadership.
Oh, absolutely. 140 countries? That's pretty much every corner with decent Wi-Fi and a smooth floor, right?
Exactly. It's like, ballet is now a global language. But here's the twist. While the global footprint is breathtaking, it does raise questions about whether this breadth is a true artistic boon, or possibly, a pressure to dilute local flavor.
Yeah, right, because when companies tour internationally, there's this subtle pressure to smooth out all those unique cultural nuances just to keep sponsors happy.
Yep, and that's our first dilemma. Does global expansion add rich layers to ballet's palette, or does it risk, watering down its authentic hues?
Think about it. One moment you see a dancer in Lagos fusing with a teacher in London, and the next, a production might lose its unique local flair in an attempt to please a global audience.
Right, exactly. And that leads us into our next topic, post-pandemic dollars. Now we're looking at a huge jump in spending, $719 million from America's top 150 companies in fiscal 2022, which is a 62% leap from the pandemic doldrums.
Wow, that's like a financial espresso shot for the ballet world. But is this boom sustainable? Or are we just riding a temporary sugar high?
There are three main revenue pillars here. Live shows hitting that box office, digital streaming keeping the lights on, and philanthropy stepping in. And each plays a role. Yet, we also have inflation creeping in. Point shoes, theater rentals, even truck fuel are all costing more these days.
It's like trying to balance on a beam while the floor shifts, right?
Exactly. It's a delicate act. Some mid-sized companies, interestingly, are reporting record sponsorships due to dance's growing alignment with corporate wellness and diversity messaging. But, there's a risk if donors get tired of funding both live and virtual stages continuously.
So, listeners, here's a big question. Are these dollars set to propel ballet for years to come, or is it more of a boom-bust scenario?
Absolutely. And speaking of challenges, let's talk about leadership. Women make up 76% of the ballet workforce, but are shockingly underrepresented in artistic director roles. Isn't that a persistent glass ceiling?
I agree. Yes, it's really ironic. You've got so many talented women directing classes, running companies, and pushing innovation, yet the top artistic roles remain a, predominantly male club.
And boards often claim there's a lack of qualified female candidates, ignoring the rich pipeline of female leadership already active in, say, running ballet schools or managing secondary companies.
I'm curious, though. Do you think it's just inertia? Some companies in Houston, Milwaukee, and Boston are starting to pivot when faced with grassroots pressure and social media outcry.
For sure. But with directors often sitting on these roles for 10 years or more, change is frustratingly slow. So, what concrete moves could shift this ratio? Term limits? Balanced search committees?
That's a great question. If boards were more transparent and embraced varied candidate searches, perhaps the change would come faster.
Now, shifting gears a bit, let's talk injuries. Elite pre-pro dancers clock about 1.4 injuries per 1,000 training hours, especially to ankles and feet. How do we tip the scales in their favor?
Right, exactly. Yeah, it seems like technology might hold some answers. I've heard about wearable sensors being used in studios that measure the impact of jumps and alert teachers when dancers are fatiguing.
Absolutely. It's like having real-time feedback during a performance. But even with tech, nothing can fix brutal 12-hour rehearsals or the culture that prizes extreme physical aesthetics, like that 180-degree turnout.
That's true. But forward-thinking schools that integrate Pilates, sports medicine screenings, and mental health support are making a real dent in injury rates. It's a blend of tech and human-centric care.
Exactly. Imagine smart insoles paired with force-sensitive floors. That's a futuristic safety net. But we also have to address systemic issues, like limited cross-training and uneven rehearsal rotations.
Right, so listeners, have any of you tried these smart insoles or recovery apps? What's been your experience?
And now, for the grand finale, monetary matters. Pay in ballet is a roller coaster. Pros can earn as little as $30K or over $120K, with a mid-career weekly average at about $2,300.
That's wild. And when you consider a New York soloist's living expenses, $300 a week might not really cut it after all those, physio bills and rent.
Yeah, right. And add to that the fact that the physical prime for dancers is, relatively short, peaking in their late 20s and often retirement before 35. Without portable pensions or solid contracts, many exit with shaky finances.
Which makes the idea of, let's say, year-round contracts or revenue-sharing models really appealing. It could help keep talent not only on stage, but also secure for the long term.
Absolutely. And even some companies are already experimenting with these models, like offering education stipends or even unionized standards. The question is, which model will truly stick and, support our virtuosos?
I'd say it's a mix of tiered minimums and creative revenue splits that could really change the game. It's definitely a bargaining chip worth debating.
So to recap, we've got 5 burning topics. The global footprint. Do we add color or blend it too much? The post-pandemic financial rebound. Is it here to stay or just a sugar rush? Leadership equity. Why the persistent Tutu ceiling? Injury innovation. Can tech and better practices bend the damage curve? And the paycheck roulette. How do we ensure fair compensation for such brilliant talent?
Yep, that's a full plate. And while each of these issues is a puzzle, they're also opportunities. For instance, the idea of integrating local cultures in global tours can actually enrich the art form if we're intentional about it.
Exactly. And to push back a bit, some argue that global expansion inevitably leads to a kind of aesthetic homogenization. But I say, if boards and directors champion diversity authentically, local color will shine through even on the worldwide stage.
True. Right. And despite the financial ups and downs, there seems to be a strong narrative that, with innovation in tech and leadership, the ballet world can navigate through these challenges.
Absolutely. And it's all about balancing tradition with innovation, rethinking funding models, leveraging tech for safety, and importantly, mentoring leadership that truly represents the talent on stage.
Which I think really underscores the passion within the ballet community, not just performance, but also behind-the-scenes efforts to innovate and protect the art.
Yes, it's a dynamic dialogue, much like ballet itself, graceful yet grounded in pushing boundaries. So for our listeners out there, we invite you to ponder these issues, join the conversation, and maybe even drop a comment on your vision for a more inclusive, sustainable, and innovative ballet world.
And remember, whether it's the global stage or the intimate studio, every dancer's story adds a brushstroke to ballet's ever-evolving canvas.
That's our caffeinated snapshot of ballet's current challenges and opportunities. Keep debating, keep dancing, and let's continue this journey, one elegant step at a time.
Thanks for hanging with us, and until next time, keep those point shoes tapping and those ideas flowing.